It's time to do some upgrading.
Hello, I'm Jane.
Hi, I'm Graham, and together we are the Woolly Cod Wanderers.
Well, we've decided to do a bit of upgrading, and the reason for that is that with the two leisure batteries that we had were lead acid and they're not starting to hold the charge. So therefore we've decided to upgrade the battery but also the system. So we only have 150 watt solar on the roof, which we're going to take off, and we're putting on these two. These are the 175 amp Renogy solar panels. So we've got two of them giving us 350 amps or watts of solar. With upgrading, we've gone with this little beauty. Well, it's not a little beauty, it's quite large and heavy, but a lot lighter than lead acid. This is the 280 amp hour Fogstar lithium battery. So with that, we've got the 350 watts of solar, but obviously we need to get it through into the van. So we've got two extension cables, obviously live and neutral, from the solar. These connect to the solar with, when I find it, with these. So what we're doing is we're connecting the two lives into here, and then from there the live goes into the live on that to go into the van, and the same with the earth cable or the neutral cable. Is it the neutral cable or the earth cable, Jay?
Before you start here, I'll go.
Yeah, well, the one that's not, the one that's not live. Oh, but with that, based on Lord Virgo, we've also bought an inline fuse. Excuse me, to go from the solar inline fuse into the cab. So when we're bringing it into the cab, we wanted to upgrade the whole system. So what we've done is we've gone for the 50 amp hour DC to DC and onboard battery charger with MPT. So obviously this little beauty will be able to charge from the solar and also when you're driving. So that's what we got that. And with this, it actually comes with an app that you can use so it can monitor your battery. But as a backup, we've also bought the monitoring screen. So this will be on display in the van. So we've got that. Oh, the other thing is obviously when they're coming through from the van, from the roof, we've got our little ducting thing to put our cables through. And a little special one that Lord Virgo used, so if it's good enough for Greg Virgo, so we've bought this, the DC rotary isolator. So your battery, your cables from your solar come through into this, which you can totally isolate off before it goes from there into the Renogy MPT. So that's that. And because I have, at the moment we have a 12 volt battery charger built in, so if we're on main electrics we can just plug in and it will charge the batteries. But because this being lithium, we've then decided to buy the Fogstar 12 volt 20 amp battery charger. So this will be going in place of the other one, and obviously then excuse me, if we're on mains hookup or if we want to charge it from home, then we can charge the lithium via the battery charger. Oh, and the last thing, I'd seen Neil of Urban Van Life. If you haven't watched him, get over and watch his channel. And he got what do you call them, Jane? Are they light bars? So he'd seen this one that's all in one, so you just run it through and put it straight to your battery. So we've got, I think it's the 2 foot, what do they call these again, Jane?
Light bar.
Light bar, yeah. So we've got the 2 foot light bar, which we're going to put onto the roof once we've sorted the solar panels. So if we're putting the solar panels up and we're putting that up, how we're going to put it up, or what we're going to fix it to. I'll show you. Come this way. Oh, can you keep up with me, dear? You'll get dizzy, you know, won't you? Eh?
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you can see over here, but I'll go and point them out just in case you can't pick it up on the camera.
See the size of them things?
Well, that is two 6-metre pieces of Unistrut. It was cheaper to buy it as a 6-metre length than to buy it at the size that I required, which I think, if I remember offhand, is about 440. That's going to be fixed on both sides of the roof of the van. And to get it on the size I wanted, the delivery charge from the company that cuts them to size was ridiculous. In fact, it was £60 cheaper to get those two 6-metre lengths. I've got the fun of cutting them, but it's going to save me money, so a little bit of work just to cut them. So I need to measure them as a first thing, get them treated, and then we'll start looking at putting them on the roof. So hopefully you'll follow on the upgrade of our fanny. So the first thing we need to do is clear this area out, which is remove the two batteries. As you see from the wooden frame round it, they've been securely fastened in so they don't move. So we're going to have to take them out. We're going to have to take the split charge relay out and also the battery charger. So we'll take them out, clear all the wires away, so we've got a clear area to see how we want to proceed. Right, so this is the layout we've gone with. We've still left the pure sine inverter here. We're going to fit the battery here, the 280 amp hour lithium Fogstar battery. That's not fitted in place yet, but that's where it's going to be. We've then got the solar panel isolation switch, the Renogy control unit, and on the original layout the battery charger I had was hardwired in, but this time we've fitted a plug socket, should I say, which goes directly into our consumer unit there. And the reason for that is this new Fogstar, which I'll show you here. This Fogstar 12 volt 20 amp hour battery charger came with a fitted plug and also the fitted leads. So those are your leads coming from your battery charger. Obviously I've marked them, you know what I mean, your live and your neutral from there. So the idea was that we have a plug here so that when we want to, if we're hooked up to mains, that I can flick that switch and it can put power into the battery. This wire here is the Renogy monitor, which just clips into there, and I fed the wire through into the cab where the other wires have gone through, because I'm putting in an extra USB point. We've got the diesel heater wires there ready to go on, the inverters wires with the isolation switch. The idea is to run all the wires into the positions before I hook them all up. As you can see, we've taken out the front seats and all the wiring that are fed through from the battery area. Those are my two cables for the USB point, and this one here is the monitor cable for the Renogy. This, however, is the diesel heater that was professionally fitted. I don't know if it's just me, but where this cable comes up, look, he hasn't even drilled into the wood, he's just eased the panel off to feed the cable up. Is it just me being pernickety? Is that the word? But for me, he would have drilled a hole through there and fed the cable in so it was neater. So the next job we've got to do is remove the solar panel, which is only, it's been on there for 5 years, and it's been held on with Sticker-Flex 5112, no, yeah, 512, which has now been replaced with Sticker-Flex 522. But as you say, that's been there, no screws, on that roof for over 5 years. So we take that off, and then also remove this uni-strut to replace it with a long uni-strut. Why? All will be revealed. Right, you can see we've removed the solar panel, and that's the area I've cleaned and removed the Sticker-Flex 512 that was all on there, and we just got this side to do now. So we've got to clean this and remove this Sticker-Flex, and then clean down the gutter before we're ready to look at putting the other uni-strut up. There's the other one that's in place now, 4 meters 30. It still needs painting, but it was just basic outside painted. Now once I get them into place, then I need to look at painting them properly. Right, I've cleaned this side now and got the Sticker-Flex off both those areas, but over there on that one there's a little bit of rust. So what I'll do is when I come to put the paint on the roof, I'll treat the rust first before I paint the roof of the van. For those that aren't aware, on the top of a Sprinter, I can only vouch for a Sprinter, but I'm surmised most vans are the same. Along the edging, I'll show you here, are these little things like that. So using a heat gun, you can then clear this and it gives you a hole. Those are the caps that have come out. So normally when you take those caps out, you would put a bolt through and bolt it through from on the inside. However, because all the van done on the inside, what we're using is where those holes are that I've shown you, we're going to put these riv nuts in. So we'll put those riv nuts in and then bolt it to the roof that way. But as an extra precaution, am I being over precautious or what? I don't know. But you know, I was on about the Sticker-Flex that held the solar panel to the actual roof of the van, which was amazing. It was still a good seal after 5 years. So apparently the new one is 522 as opposed to 512, and I've got this in black. So the idea is that once I put the riv nuts in, before I bolt it down, I'm going to run the Sticker-Flex all the way along the uni-strut just to give it a bit more bonding to the roof. There we go, roof all painted. Needs touching up on the uni-strut, but that can be done at a later date. The main thing was to get the roof painted. The uni-strut that we've put up, I don't know if you can see the ends. The ends are just bare there. But these are a 40 by 40 mil cap. So the idea is we put those on the end of the uni-strut, makes it look a bit tidier. I don't know if you can see there now, but that's the uni-strut caps on the end. It just gives it a lot more finished look. I think so anyway, so. Well, it's time for the solar. So what I've done is, I still left it in the box, but I've measured where the centre is and marked the centre of the solar panel. I've then cut some of these angle irons and marked the centre of where those line up. So the idea is, line those up together, and although this is slightly under the thickness of the solar panel, as long as it's level on the bottom, and then basically drill a hole through that, and we've got these little self tappers. So the idea is drill a hole, put a self tapper in, go all the way along, do that, what, 4 times, both sides of each of the solar panels. Well, we've got the brackets fixed on either side, so now it's just a case of lifting it up into place. Although they're both black wires, but you have got one with a plus on it. But once it's up there and you're restricted with your movement or getting underneath to the cables, I put a bit of red tape right on the end of the live wire so we know what we're doing when we get up there. Well, the solar panel's up, so now we need to connect them both together. So with this, your live from solar 1 will stick into there. Your live from solar 2 stick into there. So both your lives are now connected to that. Do the same now with the neutrals. Right, so both the neutrals from both solars are connected and both the lives. But on the live, we then need to fit the inline fuse. So your lives both coming together from either solar into one with the fuse. Then the red cable connects to that and runs through your roof towards your battery. With the connectors to the solar panels, what I've done is move the other solar panel over so that all those connections are underneath the solar. And then we've run them along here into the gland. That's now gone off, they're being tightened up, they're okay. And then I've used these little clips, these little things, to hold the cable in place along there. So that now is complete on the top. It's just wiring up on the inside. Well, chasing me wires around where they need to go and then connecting up to the boxes. The other thing that I was looking at doing is, you know, the front of the van, because of the angle iron sticking out, which is for a reason which I will show hopefully later. I decided to get some aluminium again, but this is 40x40mm. The reason for that is it's the same size as the unistrut, and the reason why, that's me offcut. It's for this little beauty, Colights. So I've mounted that onto a bracket. It's been measured and cut, there's holes are drilled ready, and I've positioned that centre of that, which is going to go on the front of the van. So the Colight's set into place. However, although it's on this angle, you can see there, you see it wobbling. So I need to find something to support it, just to give it that more rigidness, because obviously the aluminium is only 1.5 thick. I was thinking of putting another plate on it, but basically all it needs is some sort of support there to hold it firm. The beauty of these Colights is that it comes as a complete kit. So you've got your plug there, you just plug your bits into it. This one, because it's a 4-pin into the 4-pin. What these cables are for, I don't know, something else. So I just tape them up, seal them off and tape them up. So that goes into there. Then that green connects into that green. And then the cable runs down to the, I forget what you call them, right, it runs into that. Then from there it has positive and negative with an inline fuse, and then the other end of it has a switch. So it's just a case of plug into there, wire up to your battery, find somewhere for your switch, and it all works. However, trying to get through the roof presents a problem. So, thanks to Neil of Urban Van Life, who made the suggestion, is one of these. A marine gland, I believe it is. So this separates, so what you have is your grommet that goes on that, then you screw and drill that into your roof, drill your hole for your cable to come through, for this to come through, yeah? And then you think, well, how do you make it tight? Well, inside of that is these rubbers. And what basically happens is, although this one isn't split, you get some that are already split, I'm going to have to drill a hole in there to cover the width of this, and then split the actual rubber, yeah? And what happens is then you bend it round your cable, and then once that's bent round your cable and you put that on, as you tighten these bolts down, it pushes the rubber in, and the further, and as it pushes the rubber in, it seals the rubber to make it watertight. Well, that's the theory. So next job, drill a hole through here, feed me cable into that, and let's see if we can get this sorted. Well, I believe I've solved the problem of this light bar moving, and that's this. Fitted two of these, one here and one on the other side. What they are is these little things, and they're basically for furniture, but it's a metal casing, 4 bolt holes, and it adjusts like that. So what I've done is I fixed them into place, adjusted it up, and now look at this bar. Look at it. It's rock solid. It ain't going anywhere. As you see, you can screw these through the roof, but I didn't want to put any holes in the roof. So what I've done is I had these rubber pads. So what I've done is I've put Sticker Flex 522 on the bottom of that, glued that to the roof, then put the Sticker Flex on that again, press that onto it and tightened it up, and just leaving it to go off now. Well, there you have one bracket that I've put on there and the other bracket that I've put on there, which has now stabilised the light bar. It's solid, it's not going anywhere. But I hear you ask, why did you put the Unistrut that far round? I will tell you. The original Unistrut I had up only came to about there, so that when we put the awning up, or my tarp, it would come across from there, which meant the rain would come in, so you couldn't leave the door open. But by extending the Unistrut to here, see the eye bolt there? So what happens now is when I put my awning on, it's going to keep over this side, so we can always have the door open. Oh, that's the theory. We've gone with the Renogy 50 amp hour DC to DC, you know, with MPT. Let's call it the control unit, yeah? Now, we've also bought the Fogstar lithium battery, which has an app so you can monitor the battery on it. But I wanted something for the Renogy itself. Anyway, we've invested in this. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a Renogy monitor, you know, like with your smiley face to see how things are performing. The only thing is, if you decide to go with something like that, bear in mind the thickness. So to go through the bulkhead wall, that's fine, but the added problem is the connector, you know, like a little telephone connector. So when you put that in there, have you seen the width it creates? So bear that in mind if you went with something like this, where you were mounting it, the depth of what you would need. And because of that, what I've had to do is make a little wooden frame so that the Renogy unit sits in there, which is therefore the full depth of it is just in here, so that it allows enough for this, in theory, to plug in into the back, and it's not going to affect the cabling when you put the panel back on from the bulkhead. Did that make sense? Well, the solar panel isolator switch, I've got my positive and negative coming in through the top and then going out through the bottom. With these switches it's the opposite, so my live's coming in at 5 and goes out at 6. My negative comes in at 7 and goes out at 8. So I'll put the casing on that, make sure it's turned off, which then means I can connect it to the Renogy with that isolated, and it's not going to affect that till I get any other cables in place. There we go, there's the Renogy monitor, and this is obviously the frame I've had to put to bring it out. And obviously the light only stays on for a few seconds. I'll need to read up on the different functions of that, but that's in place as well. The last job that I had to do was just box the battery in so it stops any movement. The Renogy's working as it should be. Blue light for lithium, green on the battery means the battery's fully charged. The solar with the red indicates we're taking power from the solars, and this one here, which is the ignition one, there's a little trickle bit of power going through into that because the battery's full. So that completes the upgrade of the wiring of our van. Just wanted to show you, we've took the panel off on the front. Those are all the different cables we've added, and they come down here in a bit of trunking and then off into the point where they go through the other side into the battery area. But that Colight that's all connected in one runs through from there. There's the relay, and then it connects up to your battery. The only thing with it, you mean I've still got all this cable, tons of cable to locate where I want to have the switch. The only one I've had to alter slightly was the earth. It was a little bit short, so I've had to add a bit to that. But otherwise, what a lovely little kit it is. The other thing, while I've had the seat out, I've decided to put the shelf in. I'll show you. So what I've done, in this part of the seat where the diesel heater is, it's just all wasted space. So what I've done is fitted a piece of wood on there and there, and then I've stuck carpet on. The reason for putting the carpet on is that when the wooden shelf's on, it doesn't make any wooden, you know, rattly noises, or that's the theory. But because of this shape, I've had to put it on in two. So that goes in there, and then that one, he says, goes in there. There we are, a nice firm shelf. It's not that deep, but at least it's a bit of space that we've gained for storing things. I hear you say, what about air venting for the diesel heater? Well, under the seat already is this hole here. So what I've done is I put an air vent in the front, an air vent in the side, and then we've put one in the front there. So the ventilation for the diesel heater is fine. Well, I found a place for my little switch, just down here. Light on, light off.
Light on, light off.
So it's not a bad little light, is it? Well, I think that's about it now for this upgrade. I hope you may have found some of it useful. But the next upgrade, I suppose, is the cooker. We've had a cooker in the spare bedroom for well over a year. What's that you say, Jane?
2 years.
Oh, 2 years, and it's still never been fitted. So I think that might be the next job we need to look at. So anyway, till next time, bye for now.